Warning, terrible overdone amateur YouTube video by a white man with poor video and audio quality approaching. At all costs escape while you still
Godzilla Minus One is directed by Takashi Yamazaki. Full disclosure, I am not a Godzilla fan. I don't think I've ever loved a Godzilla movie. To be fair, I haven't seen all that many. Like when I was a kid, I saw the Roland Emmerich American Godzilla, and I think I've always kind of hated that movie. I don't seem to be in the minority on that one, but where I am kind of in the minority is I've also seen the 2014 Gareth Edwards American Godzilla movie, and I also really kind of hate that movie. I'm well aware that most people consider it to be like the best American Godzilla movie and think that it's fairly competent. I disagree. I think it's really boring and stupid, if I'm being entirely honest. I also saw Shin Godzilla, and I think I admire that movie more than I love it, because, and you know, that's really saying something, because, you know, it's by the director of Neon Genesis Evangelion, and that's one of my all-time favorite shows. Just nothing in that movie really grabbed me or got me invested. It was really well made. Godzilla looked better than I think he's ever looked in any movie, and the score was excellent. But funny enough, I think I found Godzilla vs. Kong, the American version, to be a bit more entertaining, and I know that's a really bad movie, but God, I just enjoyed the schlock of it all. Even though I have like a very minuscule knowledge of Godzilla, I am aware that there seem to be two different types of Godzilla movies. There are the ones similar to the original Godzilla, which is like, you know, a serious strategic government thriller about people trying to figure out what to do or how to respond realistically to Godzilla. And then there's the schlocky ones like Godzilla vs. Kong or Godzilla vs. Mothra, Rodan, whatever the fuck. It's just pure fun Godzilla silliness that's unafraid to be stupid. Godzilla Minus One seems to be attempting to create a new breed of Godzilla movies. There's an extra focus on characterization here as it follows a kamikaze pilot like at the very end of World War II who fails to carry out his mission. So now he's shamed by the people around him and struggles with this guilt, self-hatred complex. He ends up walking himself into having a pseudo family and meeting this woman and a child. A lot of the movie really just focuses on that core relationship. While it can be a bit hammy at times for sure, I'm really glad the movie wears its heart on its sleeve, and honestly, it's just great that it really gets us to care about these characters. Even though they're definitely not the most original characters of all time, like I've seen these archetypes in other movies, they service this plot perfectly to the point where when Godzilla action goes down, you're like, oh fuck, I don't want these people to die. And yes, I'm happy to report this is the first time I've actually given a shit watching a Godzilla movie. Man, the suspense in this movie is just genuinely so well done. There's this boat scene early on where Godzilla is chasing a group of the main characters on, well, a boat. Just like, oh shit, he's right there. And even like the first shot you see of Godzilla in the movie, it's not some glamorous Hollywoodized shot that's built up to with a bunch of tension and whatnot. It's just like, oh fuck, he's right there. Oh my god, run. I thought that was really smart. The way they shot Godzilla in this movie was so creative and original. While a lot of the cinematography in this movie is admittedly not anything to write home about, it's not bad, it's just kind of serviceable, I think the way they shoot Godzilla and the way they shot the action sequences were more than effective. It kind of made up for some of the more mediocre elements of the filmmaking presentation. Not to say this is a mediocre movie whatsoever, I'm talking purely on a presentation level. I think for what this movie was going for, it achieved it almost perfectly. I really only have nitpicks here. I think that maybe one or two scenes could have been cut. I think towards the third act, the movie gets just a little bit redundant. A lot of scenes of people just sitting in rooms talking about what to do with Godzilla. And yeah, that's kind of essential for the plot, and it's also kind of a staple of the Godzilla franchise. But again, just cut off maybe one of them, that's all I'm saying. While overall I was really satisfied with the way this movie concluded, I think it was maybe just a tad bit too ham-fisted. Still, honestly, I really love this movie, and this is exactly what modern popcorn blockbuster movies should be. I know this is a bold statement, but it actually reminded me of some classic Spielberg stuff. We're on that level of well-crafted suspense, which is why overall I'm actually gonna give Godzilla Minus One an 8 out of 10.